into it. West Side, best side. Yeah, so they say, even though I'm an East Sider. Yeah, East Coast is where I live, but West Coast I love as well. Shout outs to the Portland Trailblazers stepping back, looking at their roster and the changes. This new team, this new momentum. Is it a new year? Can they finally mesh and gel with one of the top upcoming lineups that I've seen on a Portland Trailblazers team from an athletic perspective ever? Let's get into it and look at the moves this offseason for these guys. Free agents last year, guys that used to play there. Caleb Swanigan, Carmelo Anthony, Hassan Whiteside, right? Jalen Horde, Moses Brown, Rodney Hood, Wayne Gabriel. So who they end up signing out of all these? Guess what? Kevin Belvins comes in. That's a new guy, wasn't on the list. CJ Ellerby, that's a new guy that wasn't on the list. Derek, my man Jones, comes in. Yeah, the big athletic small forward from the Miami Heat. Harry Giles, a steal. They snap off of the Sacramento Kings. Man, what the hell were they thinking? Rodney Hood comes back off of the big injury. Can he recover? And Carmelo Anthony making the Blazers, in my opinion. And then, hold on. Not done yet. Robert Covington. I mean, when you look at this lineup from a small forward perspective, top three scariest small forward lineups in the NBA. They are loaded at that role, and these guys are switch sides because Carmelo technically plays a 4. They can switch side. Let's get into the lineup and figure out what we're going to see when we look at the depth charts, right? First off, I want to get more signings to get that done, right? Jalen Adams didn't make the team. We already talked about that, right? We talked about Belvins, Ellerby, Covington, Hood, Cantor. Big addition there. Enes Kanter was traded over to the Blazers. You know, they re-signed Hood. Giles comes over in a steal, free agent. Covington, three-point shooter. Ellerby joins the team. Derrick Jones Jr., and then Belvins. And now we get into the depth chart and how this lays out for this team and how this lays out for the West Side. It's the scary side right now. Right now, Dame Lillard, obviously their star. He is coming back this year. Does he start to distribute more? I think that's the big question mark for me. He's an incredible offensive talent, top 5 in the league, especially in clutch time. However, do you need to rely on 50-point Damian Lillard for your whole careers? When you look at kind of where they ended up in the playoffs, they didn't necessarily win, my friend, right? With that type of off season and that type of gameplay. So you got to think to yourself, is it really working? We've been doing this for X amount of years, and it really hasn't helped us in that type of frame, right? For me, in my thought process, there needs to be a handoff. They need to give somebody else some time, and they have plenty of talent in that realm. The backup guard I want to get to is Anthony Simons. Simons is slept on. It is about time, Anthony, that you finally show out. I know talent. He has it. He can definitely be a backup point guard or the backup guard. He needs to now come through. He's going to have to come through this year. This is the make it or break it year where your career can go in an upward trajectory or you can head down. I hate to say I love my boy out of the Knicks, and I still support him, Dennis Smith Jr., but that's the type of stuff that you see. And Anthony never even had that type of success in the beginning from a points perspective like Dennis Smith Jr. did. So he has to be careful. Big year for him. CJ McCollum returns. Again, those two make up, again, one of the most dynamic duos from a scoring perspective. Yeah, they're probably the all top step back crew. They do their thing. However, they've been doing that for years. Not sure if it's paying any dividends. Gary Trent Jr., what a year last year. What a year for Gary Trent Jr. Really coming out party. I love this. Lineup here for the Blazers. Maybe it's coaching, but this is a strong lineup. Add on to the bench a Rodney Hood that could step in there. I don't know about CJ Ellerby, but it looks pretty good from what I saw in the preseason. And Kelvin Blevins I haven't seen enough of. But really just strong in this guard position. Not the greatest because they're missing some height. They're missing, I'm an old schooler. They're missing the Kobe Bryant, Tracy McGrady type height kind of guy, the 6'7", 6'6" type of shooting guard who can do it all. But Trent comes close. McCollum is still undersized in my opinion. In my opinion, McCollum should be coming off the bench, all right? I understand he's a guy who can average 25, 24. Just because you're all coming off the bench doesn't mean you're a starter or not all-star worthy, all right? It's just the situation. I think they need more scoring off of the bench. Let's go on, look at the team and see why that is. Derrick Jones Jr., defensive guy, right? So you got two of the best scorers, and then you got a defensive-minded small forward who got paid okay and is going to play. So Derrick Jones Jr. has an opportunity to play. He wasn't doing that too much last year with the Miami Heat, hence why he moved off. Rodney Hood is back, so let's see how he plays him, but he's going to have some competition with Robert Covington as well as Jalen Horde. Carmelo Anthony sometimes slot in that spot. Now, the forgotten man that we're all forgetting about, who I think is another athlete, Nasir Little, does he finally come around to try to break that lineup? It's going to be tough with Jones, Hood, and Covington, but Little could be there in play, possibly to help out in this position. Now, let's go on to the power forward position. They look like they got Covington starting, Carmelo coming off the bench, which would make sense. Then you got Zach Collins there, still out there. A lot of size, injured. Like to see him move up in that role, 6'10", 6'11". Harry Giles is signed. Big time guy. Never got the opportunity. Inside out, I think this is an opportunity for him to try to break the mold, maybe get 5-6 minutes in the game. Nasir Little has an opportunity here as well. They're really stacked at this forward position, as I said it. A lot of different moves they can make, and I like the flexibility for the coaching staff. Last but not least, we add on here Joseph Nurkic, the leader, the center at the center position. Incredible postseason last year. Came back off the leg injury. Looks fine. Enes Kanter is his backup. Tremendous rebounder, tremendous double-double type of guy. They love him over there in Portland. That's why they grabbed him back. I think this is an exciting duo if they both remain healthy. I'm not too familiar with Isaiah Stewart. I was like, is this the Isaiah Stewart from the... Oh, Lord, did they just trade this guy? Oh, my God. Hold on one second. Hopefully this is inaccurate, but did Isaiah Stewart get traded? Anyhow, if they did get Isaiah Stewart, which would be pretty scary, that'll be interesting to see. But I love the lineup they have here for the Portland Trailblazers. Everything is in place. One missing point here, okay? I like Covington for the three-point shot. Zach Collins, has he improved enough to be the next stretch three guy? Okay, I know Carmelo's there, okay, but I'm talking about like the guy out of Duncan, right? Duncan from the Heat. Somebody with that type of accuracy. Don't see it here. I also don't see it here. Don't know if Rodney Hood's that guy. Gary Trent Jr. comes close. These guys are volume shooters. Where is your sharp shooting? You need two of those guys. Where are they in this lineup? Don't see it. If there's an area for improvement, spot out three-point guy would be where I would be looking, and they can definitely find that in the G League or in free agency. Go hunting. There's a lot of guys out there. So, exciting team, stacked. Biggest opportunity this year. They got the young talent that's athletic in Anthony Simons. They got the young talent, Gary Trent Jr. You got a Rodney Hood who probably recovered February time frame. You may see him at 60-70%, which is good enough for the role he'd be playing. You got a Derrick Jones Jr., big athlete, and Nasir Little that can come in as well. We already talked about Hood. And then you got some three-point shooting in Covington. And then Ellerby. I don't want to pass him over. I saw a little bit of him. Looks pretty good. Fluid, not bad. Covington comes in at the power forward position. Would like more size there, but you can do that. You can switch it around. You can put Enes Kanter here or Harry Giles Jr. You also have the opportunity to throw Nasir Little in that role. I like Little in this role more so than the small forward role, even though he's developed that type of game. This will give you an advantage with the speed if you're able to. You have the size, you have the strength, be able to compete with these guys and kind of run amok, a la Aaron Gordon type, right? Zach Collins is there as well. Really nice lineup here, right? The forward position, really nice flexibility and opportunity. And then at the center position is Nurkic and Cantor. If they did get Isaiah Stewart, what a scary offseason they had. I mean, what a tremendous offseason. Now, a couple of these guys got to learn how to shoot the three consistently. If they can get that going, I think they're a pretty deadly team, and I'm excited to see what Portland brings to the table. When we look at the standings, let's just jump out here and take a peek. Celtics. Go West Coast. Denver Nuggets are there. That's why I mentioned Denver was going to have trouble. Minnesota is improved, okay? They should make some noise this year, all right? They need to make some noise this year. I think they have enough talent. We'll go over them. Oklahoma City Thunder, again, we'll see what happens there. This should be a rebuild year for them. Utah Jazz, right? Those are cornerstones. You know, Utah always finds a way. Denver is supposed to be there, even though I said they're going to have a tough run. They'll probably be a 6 to 8 seed. I know people are negging me. I got bad reviews on that. I got some emails. What are you talking about? Jeremy Grant was huge for me, all right? I don't want to go there anymore. So those two teams, Jazz and Nuggets, are short shots, so they got, you got that. Now on the west side, a couple people came back. Steph and the Warriors, right? Do they come back? Clippers, are they a hard slot, right? Lakers, that's 2 there at least, maybe 3, that's 5, right? Then you go over to the Southwest, and you got a tough run. Dallas Mavericks trying to make that push. Do they finally get in? Memphis Grizzlies, they made a strong push last year. Houston Rockets, a lot of different things going on, and New Orleans is vastly improved. What a tough go. Spurs are always the forgotten team, but guess what? They got stronger. I don't want to get to their roster yet. Man, it's tough. Phoenix got stronger. How do you pick this, man? Portland has to come out strong. They can't do what they did last year and come on in the bottom half. They're not doing too well in the preseason. They can possibly make a 7th or 8th seed if they push real hard and work as hard as the Jazz do, because they have more talent than the Jazz, in my opinion. Well, I don't want to say that. Gobert is something special. But, they're about equal to those guys, in my opinion. They should at least be them, right? At least be the Utah Jazz. So let's see if they can make that push for the playoffs. I'm saying that because it's tough. I just went over it, right? I went over why it's tough for every team in the West Coast. There's not a team out here except I think the Sacramento Kings, which I'm negging down because of some of the moves they made, that is not capable of making the playoffs. And these guys may even surprise me, right? This is a stacked conference. There's not one weak team here, except for Oklahoma City and maybe the Kings. Outside of that, everybody has a chance, and it's going to be a tough run. Good luck to everybody on the west side. Portland, if you start sleeping in the beginning of the season, it's going to be a long run. Stepping back, I'm going to get out of here. It's my time, Mikey B. Portland Trailblazers. Like, subscribe, please share the channel. I want to get up to 1,000 so we can start doing some podcasts, some live shows while the season starts. Love you guys. Basketball for life. I'm out. Peace.